Hey guys, and welcome to part 4 of our Force Unleashed playthrough. Now we've arrived on the junk planet, which is pretty much a droid graveyard.
If I recall, this planet's called Raxus Prime.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Metroid Prime.
Or Optimus Prime. So basically there's like kind of like a bunch of bounty hunters around in this level, kind of like, you know, the species that Greedo is, I forget their name, but you're going to you're going to see a lot of them.
Oh, where is Greedo? Oh, who else remembers that infamous who shot Greedo, who shot first argument? I think it's still going on to this day, actually. I don't know why they've got to be argued about. Colin, you do realise that it could be equivalent to lava.
It didn't affect him too much. So yeah, I was pretty much trying to be greedy and just go for that Jedi holocron, but I said fuck it, it's not worth it.
Also, if I recall, when you pick up the holograms, they refill your health either way.
Yeah.
And I see now you've got lightning now. Don't you feel absolutely powerful?
Yeah, it feels like much better when you use a lightning, sorry. Because now you can like do sort of like different combos with your lightsaber.
Ah, never thought they would do that, actually combine the two. You know, Palpatine usually always does that one or the other. You never actually combine. You know, I'd be amazed if they actually take this concept and put it in the next movies. I
know, like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool, I think.
Like, say, maybe let's say Kylo Ren at this point knows how to use lightning and then says, do you know what, I'm going to combine the two, see what happens.
I'm really intrigued to see, like, what the story behind The Last Jedi is.
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, at the time of this recording, it's like 2 months now.
Yeah, 2 months.
Still no word about that, the next Han Solo movie, for what I heard.
To be perfectly honest, like, see if they were to cancel it, I just wouldn't be fussed at all. Because I know that it's been going through a bit of development hell at the moment. You know what other movie needs to be cancelled?
The Boba Fett one.
Not the Boba Fett one, but the Sonic movie.
Yeah.
Like, does anyone really care?
Yeah, unless you're really desperate.
If you're Chris Chan.
Right, enough of that. Let's continue on. What the hell are they screaming?
I don't know, but it sounds funny.
Plus, another thing it's like they have the thing about Star Wars is that they also have their very own unique sound effects. That when you hear it, you can't hear anything else.
Yeah.
Like the TIE Fighter noises, for example.
It's like when other movies or TV shows kind of like borrow those sound effects, you're like, that's from Star Wars.
Houdini!
Yeah, there's like different Jawas in the game, and yes, you can kill them if you want.
Wow. Well, no, I get nobody really likes the Jawas. They would cause nothing but trouble.
They're just famous for that one quote.
I'm sure Greg won't love that.
Yeah.
Is that what the shit's saying when the lightning strikes?
So yeah, you can pretty much like just shock them once and they'll die.
What's that, a pike they've got as weapons?
It's like a little flamethrower sort of thing.
I don't know, all I recall is that they do nothing but... Okay, he went to infinity and beyond. But anyway, these Jawas do nothing but sell droids. I mean, I'm only going by what I saw them in episode 4.
Yeah, they're kind of like junk dealers in a way. Like, they just pick up whatever they find and then just try to sell them.
Yeah, pal, you're struggling with Protocol Droid. Well, why did you try this model 1890s for? That's what they do. Well, did he do? He was like he was going to tackle you there. Ooh.
Yeah, so pretty much just ground stab them if you just want to end it quickly.
And where's he rolling off to? Okay, you finished the job. Autosaves. Who else loves them?
So pretty much these enemies here, they're like piles of junk which are like powered by the Force.
Okay. That's something new.
You'll be seeing like much more of them like later on in the game.
Alright, get out of the way, Jawa. No one likes you. What is going on?
Isn't it funny, like an explosion like that just done like barely anything to our life bar?
Well, I think again it really depends on the difficulty. Like, I would imagine in easy difficulty you would be little to nothing.
Yeah.
Well, at least these guys are smart enough to use their Gatling guns as melee weapons when they're right next to you. Oh, nice fancy spin. That's just saw there. Isn't that where you like delay your attack or anything like that?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, there's different sort of like special moves that you can do. Like, say for example, like I can't remember the name of the combo, but you can like do this thing where like you like slash your lightsaber like twice, but then you do like a brief sort of pause where you can like see like your lightsaber sort of like flash for like a split second. When it does that, that's when you like attack again, and like you can do like a sort of like fancy combo. Which
I imagine does more hits.
Yeah. Like it is a bit tricky to pull off at first because it needs to be like the timing needs to be like dead on.
Now I wonder if you remember an Longevity playthrough called Acid Rain? ?
Oh yeah. Because basically, if you get touched by that, you're gonna like drain a lot of your health. So we need to like kind of bend these metal structures so you can get past.
And you seem to be bending that quite low. So, what, you're trying to slide there? You can't even get through.
Like you can't like just duck.
Oh Jesus Christ,
yeah.
Colin!
Yeah, we've just barely made it out.
I'm gonna imagine you're gonna die soon. I know that's sad, but look at that health.
We'll just need to like just charge straight in and just like kill someone.
I'm not sure what I'm looking
Oh, I see. They're the junk droids that you're talking about that someone are powered by the Force.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Health restore.
Yep.
I'm a god now, and that's what you're thinking. Dogpile, dogpile.
Yeah, just get them, get them guys to fuck.
Aye, get them out of the way quickly as possible. Get up, Star Killer.
Yeah, those the sort of Force droids.
So what? Is the Force supposed to be like a living entity on its own?
I'm not entirely sure. Like, if you want to be like all Qui-Gon Jinn about it, like there are like midi-chlorians which kind of like form together.
Even if I recall the director of Episode 7 did not believe that and wrote them out of existence, quote unquote.
Like, I'm not too sure. Like, I know that a lot of people were pissed off about the whole midi-chlorian sort of thing. Like, I do agree that like the Force should be like the sort of like mystical thing that we don't really know about. Well, the midi-chlorians just kind of like took away the sort of like magic sort of feeling to it.
Ah.
Like they gave a biological explanation as to what the Force is.
Ah, I suppose so. Yeah, because there will be times in ones where you just really can't explain it because it, again, depending if something a backstory, it could damage it for what it was intended to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want an origin story of a character, fair enough, but say something like, oh, it's supposed to be misguided and mysterious, therefore, if you do that, you just kind of ruin the point of the whole mysterious point.
Well, I do kind of like the idea that like the Force is like one living like entity in a way.
Aye, that gives you infinite power, so to speak.
Because as far as we know in like the Star Wars like kind of mythos, like the Force is everything pretty much.
Oh, another bad thing about Episode 1. Anakin.
Yeah, like Anakin was born from the Force.
No, it's not just that, but the actor. I'm sorry, but I think there was a reason why Jake Lloyd left after that, considering it ruined his career.
It's a shame. Like, there's people that are saying that like the Darth Vader sort of like role is cursed.
Aye, because I think David Prowse, who did the body of Vader, was not happy that he didn't get to use his voice.
Yeah, because it didn't sound threatening enough.
I would disagree. I think it sounds good enough. I mean, it makes it iconic. Especially with the breathing as well. I mean, that scene in Rogue One where the lights go off and you hear the breathing, that is chilling naturally. Scrap Guardian. They couldn't even come up with a really cool name for these droids then.
I think Force droids sound a bit better, don't they?
Aye. Or Force Guardian or something. No, actually, if they actually went with Force Guardian, it could have been seen as anything. If you think about it.
Maybe just Force droid.
Probably, yeah. And just make him roll off.
It's funny how like these things are like powered by the Force, yet they're like weak to Force lightning.
Well, I suppose it's got to have its standbacks at some point. Unless this is all the Jedi Master, this Jedi that we're hunting, this is all his bodyguards.
It could be.
It's because if I recall, this Chasm is one of the more crazy psychopathic Jedis.
Yeah, you'll see what we mean when we get to the end here.
It's like, you know, that it's like that how I think they also did this kind of characteristic thing with Darth Maul in the Clone Wars, where they explained how he survived being cut in half.
Mm-hmm.
Like saying all the anger in his force kept him alive, and he was in exile for a planet where he went insane.
And they gave him weird spider legs.
And the fact that they gave him a brother, Savage Opress, voiced by Clancy Brown, aka Lex Luthor,
and Mr. Krebs. He also done the voice for Dr. Cortex as well.
Oh yes, that's right. And Crash Bandicoot 2 up until Wrath of Cortex.
Yeah. And then it got replaced by Lex Lang.
Yeah, I don't mind Lex Lang, but for me, he also did Uka Uka, the evil mask.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking for the Insane Trilogy, they could have at least got him back, but... You know, John DiMaggio does a fine job, but just, for me, I'd rather take Clancy Brown.
Yeah. So I think Clancy Brown's like busy with Mr. Krabs at the moment.
Oh, here we are. Here's our next section. Let me guess. Don't fall into a bottomless pit?
Pretty much.
Like he did. Don't you love it when you do, even the smallest thing causes them to fumble on their arse? Jesus Christ, they're firing all over the place.
Yeah, you just want to get them out of the way as soon as possible. There we go.
But I would imagine when you increase your what is it, efficiency or something like that, that they become less of an issue.
Yeah.
Oh, shiny blue doors, therefore this is plot. Don't you just love it when a plan backfires on you? Whoa!
Oh yeah, look at that.
I didn't know the doors was strong enough to push you. But then realistically, you wouldn't be sliding, you'd be falling.
Yeah.
So was that a moon slide?
I mean, like the sort of grip on your shoes just don't work.
Since when did we suddenly go into an ice planet then? Why are you going this way?
To get that holocron.
Oh, okay.
Why I'm on the lower level, I don't know.
Mine. Gold lightsaber.
Yeah, gold
excellent.
One. So if you want to be really fancy, you can show off the gold lightsaber.
I would imagine the crystal's made of 4K then. 18 karat. Imagine that at a wedding store. You go and, instead of buying a ring, you go and get your spouse a gold caber crystal.
By the way, have you ever seen the movie Looney Tunes Back in Action?
Yes.
Remember when Bugs Bunny like whips out the carrot and it turns into a lightsaber?
Yeah, and then if I recall, he's reading the book about the battle.
Yeah.
The only time Warner Brothers and Disney. No, who owned Star Wars at the time?
It was a
Lucasfilm.
Lucasfilm, which kind of had like a partnership with 20th Century Fox.
Mm-hmm. And it's just the thing that Warner Brothers actually was allowed to do that.
To think if they were to like ask Disney to do that, they'd probably tell me fuck off.
Okay, let's talk about this. What was your opinion on the whole, when Disney took over, they pretty much reconned everything in terms of legends and made their own canon?
I was like I wasn't like too miffed about it. I was kind of more pissed at the fact that Disney bought Star Wars in the first place. But like to think that like fans sort of like grew up with like 30 years worth of canon, and then Disney came along and just said, "Oh, see all that stuff that you've been like reading and investing in for the past 30 years? Well, that doesn't matter." Because like people theorize, were Disney just too lazy to research into the sort of like established canon, so they just thought, fuck it, instead of like researching about it, we'll just make our own.
Aye. This brings up to my argument, which I said when we were in the TIE Fighter project, that to me, the way I see the canon, this is just my opinion on the whole universe, the way I see canon-wise is obviously Episode 1, then 2, Clone Wars, 3, Force Unleashed, then Rebels, Rogue One, into Episode 4. That is my canon, to me.
see for me personally, see if like it doesn't matter if it's like a novel or a game or that. See if it doesn't conflict with anything in the canon, then I guess you can like sort of count it as canon.
Well, well, we can add a new list to that canon with Battlefront 2 coming out next month.
Yeah, because the campaign's going to be canon.
Aye, which is kind of weird actually, because they, like, you know, they've chosen the female to represent this new protagonist of the Empire. What happened to the Empire when the second Death Star blew up? Like, what happened in the span of like, what was it, 30 years between episodes 6 and 7?
Yeah, about 30 years.
It's like, what happened between then? And to find that they got 2 actors from Arrow to play some of the Stormtroopers.
Because I know that Disney, they've made like the trilogy of the Empire's End books, which sort of like explains kind of what happened between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, and it shows you how the First Order got established.
Okay.
So I've read them. Like the books themselves are kind of the writing's not like that great.
Well, it's Disney. They gotta be child friendly at some point.
Well, funnily enough, like a few of the Disney books are kind of like quite dark in some ways.
Okay, that's kind of unusual. Considering when you think Disney, you think classic kids, no violence, none of that.
Well, was it Disney, like in terms of like the Marvel movies? Disney's not really getting like involved with them. They're just kind of like letting Marvel kind of make the movies that they kind of want to make.
Well, compared to Star Wars, where it's like, oh, we're gonna hold on to this because this franchise is making billions.
Yeah. Like, that's what I'm kind of worried about, what Disney's kind of doing with Star Wars, because now they're making a Star Wars movie every year.
Yeah.
Like, do you think they're just gonna, like, milk the series until, like, people are just kind of, like, tired?
Probably. I mean, what was the time gap that we had after episode 3 was released?
It was 10 years.
Aye, and then they start off with the play it safe excuse for Force Awakens by making the story similar to episode 4. You know, no, granted, you know, it's been a while since we had a Star Wars movie like that, so I can give them that for playing it safe. But see, for episode 8, please don't be a repeat of Empire Strikes Back. Be something new and original.
It's like, fair enough, like, with Force Awakens, like, yeah, it is very similar to A New Hope. But in a way, it was sort of kind of like showing the fans, like, this, like, I don't want to say like it was in safe hands, but like it was kind of like generally easing people into like this new sort of trilogy. Like, give them something that's like familiar to them, but also introduce things that's new.
Aye. I mean, but then again, it kind of writes itself when you think about it. Oh, we're starting off in a desert planet. And then we got a guy who's a baddie who's all dressed in black, a very ace pilot. Have I seen this before?
Yeah. Like, say what you will about the prequels, but at least the prequels try to tell its own story.
Aye. I mean, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy the locations and all the different planets that you can see in the prequels. And the Clone Wars actually is not that bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, when it came to Battlefront 2, and the you know, I'm talking about the original one back in 2005, I actually preferred the Clone Wars in terms of, you know, the whole war, like humans versus droids. But don't get me wrong, the Rebels versus the Empires will always be classic, but to me personally, when it came to gameplay wise, I like to play as the droids and the clone troopers a bit more.
Yeah. So basically, here is kind of like our sort of like first mini-boss, in a way.
Oh, the big guy with the mallet.
Yeah.
So what's his general strategy then?
Basically, like, he's going to like kind of try like throw different objects at you. So what you kind of want to do is try like kind of keep your distance, but you can like kind of dwindle his health away by like shooting lightning at him like that, and then you can like just pick up different objects and just kind of like throw them at him.
Okay, so just do that until his health goes down.
Pretty much. So you kind of want to like keep your distance from him.
Excellent. That's pretty much standard for video games.
Yeah, nah, completely failed there and can't get back up.
Where's the ladder? Oh, Sith Holocron, I bet you're thinking, must grab Sith Holocron immediately.
So basically, like, these guys will just kind of like keep spawning, like you can kill them to get some of your health back.
Ah, that's fair. Compared to, say, don't you hate it when you have a boss battle and then they throw in the mindless mooks just for the sake of being there and they don't add anything?
So basically with that Sith Holocron, that's like a damage increase, so you can pretty much make this guy your bitch.
Wow.
Yep, and then it just goes down just like that.
I would imagine that you would feel would you feel kind of embarrassed in it when you do all that, or would you feel relieved?
Kind of more relieved.
So what? So how are you going to make this platform then?
So basically, we just need to force it out of the way.
Oh, simple. So what? I thought, what does the engine have to do with it? Because I saw you lining that engine was to melt the metal or something.
Yeah, but I wasn't really too sure what I was doing there.
Wow, considering you're the one playing the game right now.
So we've got a bit of platforming here.
Of course, it's a video game. They must have platforming. Would you rather have that, or would you want... No, I want to go in a straight line for 5 miles. Wow, you're just destroying these droids.
See, they look threatening, but as soon as you like just hit them with lightning, they're pretty much paralyzed, and then you can like just do whatever you want with them.
And just throw them down the pit.
Yeah. He didn't suspect a thing. So now we just need to bend that.
Now, I'm gonna take a guess because it's the way it's bent. Can you actually slip off these and fall into the pit if you're not careful?
It is possible. So you just need to be careful.
Oh, I can see you can do a little dash there. I'm surprised that dash doesn't cost any of your meter.
I know, since it's like technically like a forced jump, there is like a sort of trick that you can do where you can get kind of like a double sort of like boost.
Okay. And how do you do that?
Basically, you just like double jump and then like you sort of like boost right when you're coming out of your second jump, which kind of gives you a bit more airtime.
Ah, I thought you were going to talk about that one where you combine the dash with the push and it pushes you a little bit further.
Yeah, but you can technically do that.
Which gives you a bit more... It costs meter, but you get a bit more distance.
Mm-hmm.
But as a result of that, you drop like a rock when you're done.
Yeah.
Don't you love it when they explode upon death? Well, if they were humans, I would say it must be incredibly high blood pressure. But maybe too much force for these droids. Too much force, I can't go on.
Yeah, but we're making a lot of force puns, aren't we?
Yeah, it's very easy to do.
They're a bit forced, don't you think?
Colin, that was terrible.
Well, like, it's my let's play, so...
Aye, on you go. Be yourself. Weasley.
So yeah, here we have like pretty much the same mini boss here. So pretty much kind of like the same sort of strategy. You kind of want to keep your distance, but of course I'm being an idiot here and I got hit.
Oh, and he's not having any of that shit. Oh, grand stop attack now. Then again, he's always a big one because you know all big people have got to have an earthquake stomp. And that completely missed. Which school did you go to learn about aiming projectiles, Mr. Fife?
I think it was Missalot's Academy.
Missalot Academy.
Missalot Academy.
I bet you're thinking, oh, don't you dare. Zappy time. Zap, zappity zap zap.
Yeah, there we go. So pretty much you can like just take the piss out of this guy. Like you can just zap him like just a little bit and he'll like just completely like paralyze.
And to think, look at this footage when they how they designed the force gameplay wise here. This is what Silver should have been.
In a way, yeah. Like this is pretty much. I think this is kind of what like Sega sort of like originally planned, but I guess it just didn't happen.
Well, all they need to do is just give him make him a bit faster, and then improve on that. Then there you go, effective Silver.
So we didn't see this last time, so this is pretty much a little QTE here.
Okay.
Now, as this guy's about to die, we'll see you in the next part, guys.